Hi everybody, it's Karen Money Williams here with Alligator, and we're back for another edition of Poupée Theater, in which the poupée, or puppets in American parlance, help us explore law of attraction and how it affects our lives. And how are you today, this fine day, fine Gator?
I'm fine.
You're fine? So am I, and don't startle me next time, okay? Anyway, Allie, you said you had a problem you wanted to discuss, and what might that be, little miss?
Well, everything's going wrong for me.
Everything's going wrong for you? I just saw you out at the pond with your boyfriend. I can't think everything's going wrong for you. But anyway, go ahead. What do you think is causing things to go wrong? And I won't ask you to elaborate on all of them, but do you have any idea of what's causing it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, what do you think it might be? Do you think it might be your thoughts, or?
No, I think Mercury is in retrograde.
Mercury, like the planet?
Yes, I read that it's in retrograde.
Okay, so like with astrology. And you think that's affecting things going wrong?
Yes, I definitely do. What else could it be?
Okay. Well, it's really funny that you should bring it up, because just this morning I was listening to an old Abraham cassette tape from 1998, and on it, lo and behold, they were talking about that very topic. Will you listen to it with me for a little bit, and we'll find out from the horse's mouth, which is almost as good as a gator, what Abraham has to say?
Sure, why not? Get on with it.
Okay. Okay, let's listen to the tape and hear.
Thank you. It's so nice to have you here in tangible form. I wanted to ask you, there's been a lot of talk lately about the planets and Mercury in retrograde. And I don't understand. Good. I don't. And so what I wanted to ask, and people keep saying, well, this means when it's in retrograde, you don't move forward, and I'm thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. So where does this come into play with our energy? And it seems like someone's talking out of two sides of their mouths here. Well, there are many well-meaning people that are wanting to help you understand why things are not working for you or why things are working for you. And so sometimes, in other words, your civilization continues to look at the results of how you have flowed energy and how others have flowed energy, and then they try to guide you to be aware of those results in order to guide your future experience. In other words, almost no one is explaining to anyone else or understanding themselves personally that you have access to an energy stream and that you can tell as an individual how you're doing in this moment with this stream. Almost everybody wants to take the power away from the individual and give the power to some greater good that then the individual has to earn the power from. In other words, that's the philosophy that cripples most of you and has done for a very long time. So, for example, if you understand that you are a pulsing, vibrating being, and that everything in the universe is responding to your pulse, and you've been practicing offering the pulse, and you've been noticing the correlation between what you've pulsed and what you got back, now you're beginning to feel pretty cocky and pretty empowered and pretty sure of yourself. In other words, that's a wonderful state of being, that feeling of power, you see. But if you have not personally made the correlation between, if you have not deliberately fostered a feeling and then deliberately acknowledged the response to that feeling, then you're running around like everybody else. You don't have a clue why things are happening to you in the way they are, because you're vibrating all over the place, you're not paying attention to how you're vibrating, all kinds of things are coming back, and you don't know why it's happening. So then you say, well, it must be your fault, and it must be your fault, and it must be your fault. And then your society evolves and says, well, more of you need to take responsibility for what's happening to you. Even the therapists are beginning to not be so ready to give you the key to blame other people for where you stand. And so now you still don't know how it's happening. Nobody's explaining to you how it is that it is happening. But one thing is sure, it is not politically correct to blame your mother anymore. And so one by one, your excuses get taken away from you. And so you need bigger reasons to explain why your life is screwed up and things aren't going the way you want it to be. And over the history of man, you have become enormously creative in the concoctions of excuses that you bring forth in order to explain why you're not getting what you want to get. The biggest confusion comes because you have come to rely so much on your word. When you shout no, you really expect that thing you don't want to go away, even though it never does. Somebody has convinced you so much in the power of your words, even though the power of your words defy you over and over and over again. And so we think that it is this natural, self-surviving impulse that you were born with. An impulse that says, I'm good and all is well with me. In other words, there's this stable feeling within you that can't quite make sense of the mess that you're making of your life. And so the conclusion must be there are powers that are outside of me and outside of all that I have power over that are guiding what really happens to my life. And we say, if that were true, not one of you would have come forth into this environment. If that were true, you would have said, well, there are powers that are in alignment, and those powers are ruling the universe, and the rest of us are just little puppets. There's no point in going forth. She didn't say anything like that. He said, I'm the creator of my experience, and I will go forth into an environment of contrast, and from the contrast, I will conclude, I will decide, I will focus energy, I will send out an energy signal that law of attraction will act upon, and I will attract unto me by virtue of that which I choose. You didn't say, with the exception of when Mercury is in retrograde. You let Mercury take care of itself, you see. Let Mercury do what Mercury wants to do. What Mercury is doing is not any of your business, and it doesn't have anything to do with what you're doing with your energy, you see. I'm glad to know that.
Does that help a bit to know that we are the creators of our own reality and Mercury can just have at it out there? It doesn't mean that Mercury isn't retrograding or whatever Mercury might do, but the bottom line is that Mercury doesn't have to cause us to have problems.
Well, I guess it works. Or for some people, I'll have to ponder that a little bit.
Okay, you do ponder it, Allie, and let me know how it goes, and keep reading the horoscopes if it feels fun and good, but if it's like starting to make you forget that you are the creator of your own reality through your thoughts, then maybe get a different magazine, get Field and Stream or something. How about it?
Okay, I'll give it a try.
That's all for now, everybody. Over and out for Karen and Allie at Poupée Theater. Toodaloo.